The room was already on edge when Tamar and Yandy locked eyes, voices trembling with fury. What started as a heated argument spiraled into one of the most explosive confrontations Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has ever seen. Tamar accused Yandy of hiding secret messages that no one was supposed to see, waving her phone like it was a loaded weapon. Gasps echoed as the cast froze, unsure of what was about to be exposed. Yandy's face drained of color, her defenses crumbling under Tamar's relentless attacks. And then the unthinkable happened. Mendeecees slammed his hand on the table, stood up, and stormed out in front of everyone. Cameras scrambled to follow as the room erupted in chaos. What was in those messages? Why did Mendeecees walk out instead of defending Yandy? And most importantly, who's really hiding the truth? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has never been short on drama, but this season introduced a storm that no fan could have predicted. The entry of Tamar Braxton into the mix was already shaking things up. Her energy, her presence, her unapologetic way of speaking truth to power. She wasn't just another guest star. She was a disruptor, and her arrival put everyone on notice. Yandy Smith Harris, on the other hand, had long carried the image of being calm, polished, and level-headed. Through years of chaos, cheating, scandals, and betrayals among her peers, she had remained the voice of reason, or at least that's how she wanted to be seen. But viewers knew better. Every season, even the strongest cast members are tested. And Yandy wasn't immune to cracks in her polished exterior. Mendeecees, Yandy's husband, had been struggling in his own right, while their marriage had survived prison sentences, financial drama, and endless rumors. The show had begun to highlight just how strained their relationship was behind the cameras. Fans noticed his frustration growing, his patience wearing thin. And when Tamar walked into the picture, whispering about secret messages, it was clear that the storm was heading directly for Yandy and Mendeecees. The whispers began weeks earlier, long before the cameras caught the explosion. Online gossip blogs teased that someone had receipts involving a cast member's husband and a shocking exchange of late-night texts. Fans immediately began speculating, pointing fingers at Kirk Frost, Scrappy, and even Mendeecees. It wasn't until Tamar dropped her cryptic comments during a group dinner that things started to unravel. "Some of y'all sitting here acting like your marriage is perfect," Tamar said in one episode, smirking across the table. "But if the truth comes out about these messages, half y'all wouldn't even be sitting here right now." The room fell silent. The cameras zoomed in on Yandy's face, her smile faltering, her eyes betraying a flash of panic. She tried to hide. Fans at home caught it instantly, flooding social media with theories that Tamar's messages had everything to do with Yandy and Mendeecees. And Tamar knew exactly what she was doing. She thrived on tension, on exposing cracks and the perfect images her castmates tried to maintain. She dropped breadcrumbs everywhere she went, letting just enough slip to keep everyone paranoid, but holding back enough to make the reveal sting even worse. By the time filming reached its breaking point, the cast was already divided. Some whispered that Tamar was stirring drama just for attention. Others insisted she had proof, that she wouldn't be making accusations without something explosive in her back pocket. And Yandy, she was stuck in the middle, her reputation as the calm one slipping away as she grew more defensive with every episode. Meanwhile, Mendeecees tried to keep his cool, but his silence spoke volumes. The more Tamar hinted, the less he said, and that silence only made fans more suspicious. Was he guilty? Was he hiding something? Or was he just refusing to play Tamar's game? Everything was set up like a powder keg waiting for a single spark. Tamar had the receipts, Yandy had the fear, and Mendeecees had the breaking point that nobody saw coming. It all started during what was supposed to be a calm group sit-down. The cast gathered at a long dinner table, wine glasses clinking, producers hoping for some lighthearted bonding. But Tamar Braxton wasn't here for small talk. She had been carrying a secret, and tonight she decided to let it spill. The chatter quieted when Tamar's voice cut through the room. So we just gone sit here and act like ain't nobody hiding nothing? She asked, eyes darting straight at Yandy. The table froze. The playful laughter died instantly. Even the background music faded under the weight of her words. Yandy shifted uncomfortably, forcing a smile. Tamar, what are you talking about? She asked, trying to brush it off. But her voice betrayed a nervous edge. Tamar leaned forward, her nails tapping on the table like a ticking clock. I'm talking about the messages, baby. The secret little conversations that everybody ain't supposed to know about. You know exactly what I mean? Gasps erupted around the table. Rashida's eyes widened. Spice muttered, Lord, have mercy. And Bambi clutched her drink like it might shield her. From the explosion about to go off, Yandy's smile vanished completely. Don't play with me, Tamar. You not about to sit here and accuse me of something without proof, she snapped. Her tone sharper than fans had ever seen before. But Tamar only smirked. Oh, I got proof. Believe me, I got plenty. The question is, do you want me to show it here in front of everybody? Or you want to handle it like a woman, one-on-one? The tension was unbearable. Erica Mena leaned over to Carly Red, whispering, oh, she about to pull receipts. The cameras zoomed in on Mendeecees, who sat stone-faced, his jaw tight, refusing to meet Yandy's eyes. Yandy, her voice rising with frustration, demanded, what messages are you talking about, Tamar? 'Cause if you saying what I think you saying, you better be ready to back it up. Tamar tilted her head, her smile wicked. I'm talking about late-night DMs, about text threads that should have been deleted but weren't, about things being said behind people's backs. And the craziest part, your man's name is all over it. The entire table erupted. Rashida shouted, not Mendeecees. Spice threw her hands up, yelling, here we go again. Carly Red nearly fell out of her chair with shock. Yandy slammed her hand on the table. You lying? That's a straight-up lie, Tamar. Don't drag me and my husband into your mess. Her voice cracked, tears already welling up in her eyes. But Tamar wasn't finished. She pulled out her phone and waved it in the air. You think I'm lying, baby? I got screenshots, whole conversations. And when I drop M, the world's gone. See the truth? All eyes turned to Mendeecees. It's the man of the hour. The one who should have defended his wife. The one who should have denied everything. But instead, he sat silent, his lips pressed tight, refusing to say a word. That silence was louder than any scream. The cast knew it. The cameras knew it. The audience watching at home knew it. Something was wrong, terribly, undeniably wrong. The storm had officially begun. The silence around the table was suffocating. Tamar's phone hovered in the air like a loaded gun, and the cast leaned in, holding their breath. Yandy's chest rose and fell quickly, her eyes darting between Tamar's smirk and Mendeecees' cold, unreadable expression. Everyone knew. The moment Tamar unlocked that screen, things would never go back to normal. Y'all always talking about loyalty, Tamar said, her voice calm but cutting. But loyalty don't live in... The room descended into chaos. Rashida yelled at Tamar for crossing the line. Spice shouted that the receipts weren't enough to prove anything. And Erica fanned the flames, screaming, if Mendeecees walked out, it's 'cause he hiding something. Meanwhile, fans watching at home went wild. Within minutes, hashtags like #Men, walks out and #YandyYVs, TAMAR dominated social media. Clips of Yandy sobbing and Mendeecees storming off were reposted on TikTok millions of times, with fans dissecting every second, every look, every silence. Was Mendeecees guilty? Were the messages real? Or was Tamar manipulating the moment too? Create the biggest scandal in love and hip-hop Atlanta history. One thing was clear, the receipts were out, the damage was done. And Yandy's world had just crumbled in front of millions. The second Mendeecees stormed out of that room, the outside. world lit up like a wildfire. Even before the episode could air, leaked clips from audience members and insiders started circulating online, sending Love and Hip Hop Atlanta straight into the center of social media chaos. On Twitter, the hashtags #Mendeecees walks out, #YandyYVs TAMAR, and #secret messages shot to the top within hours. Fans were screaming into their phones, posting memes and dissecting every facial expression. One viral tweet read, "If Mendeecees was innocent, he would have stayed and defended Yandy. Silence speaks louder than words." Another countered, "Tamar, messy as hell. She loves stirring drama with receipts that don't add up." Instagram blogs had a field day. The Shade Room reposted the clip with the caption, "Mendeecees walks out mid-scene after Tamar exposes alleged secret messages. Who y'all believe?" Hollywood Unlocked jumped in with Yandy in tears. Tamar pulling receipts. Mendeecees gone this season just turned into a movie. The comments were flooded with fans taking sides, some accusing Tamar of being an instigator, others saying Yandy was finally exposed. TikTok went even crazier. Users stitched the leaked clip with old footage of Mendeecees and Yandy, comparing body language and pointing out red flags they claimed were obvious all along. One viral edit spliced Mendeecees walking out with a dramatic soundtrack, racking up over 1.5 million views in 24 hours. But it wasn't just fans fueling the fire. The cast members themselves began reacting. Spice went live, rolling her eyes, and telling her followers, "I told y'all, the drama this season is beyond anything we've ever filmed. Tamar and Yandy, that's just the beginning." Rashida posted a cryptic Instagram story that read, "Sometimes silence is the loudest answer." Erica Mena, never one to stay quiet, flat out tweeted, "If your man walks out instead of defending you, that's your answer, sis." Even outside the franchise, other celebrities weighed in. Tamar's sister, Toni Braxton, dropped a simple but shady line on Twitter. "Receipts don't lie." Fans instantly interpreted it as Toni backing Tamar. Meanwhile, K. Michelle, Tamar's longtime frenemy, chimed in with a now viral tweet. "Y'all eating this up like Sunday dinner. Reality TV at its finest." Podcasts, YouTube gossip channels, and even mainstream outlets like Bet and Essence jumped in. Some reported that producers were scrambling behind the scenes to manage the fallout, while others speculated Tamar had been sitting on those receipts for months, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate them. And then came the so-called exclusive leaks. A popular gossip blog posted what they claimed were the full screenshots Tamar had waved on set. The texts were hard to read, but they allegedly showed flirty messages between Mendeecees and a mystery woman. Fans immediately tried to identify who the woman might be, with theories ranging from random fans to other women in the cast. The pressure on Yandy was brutal. Every time she opened Instagram, her comments were flooded with, "Did you know? Why didn't he defend you? And drop your side of the story, sis." Meanwhile, Tamar basked in the attention, posting photos of herself with captions like, "Truth always wins." The industry wasn't just watching it, was devouring every second. What started as a messy dinner scene had exploded into a cultural talking point. People weren't just asking whether the messages were real. They were questioning Yandy and Mendeecees' entire marriage. And the scariest part, Tamar hinted there was still more to come. The night after Mendeecees stormed out, the chaos only grew darker. Social media was still ablaze. Blogs were dissecting every screenshot Tamar had flashed. And fans were convinced they knew the whole story. But then something strange happened. A new insider leak hit the internet. At first, it looked like just another blurry screenshot, another desperate attempt by gossip blogs to ride the wave. But this one was different. It didn't show Mendeecees flirting. It didn't show Tamar in a messy back and forth. Instead, it revealed something far more complicated. Tamar's so-called receipts weren't even direct messages between her and Mendeecees. They were group chats conversations involving multiple people, including another cast member. Fans froze. Had Tamar twisted the narrative to make it look like Mendeecees was guilty? Or was she only sharing part of the truth to protect someone else? One blogger claimed the unseen parts of the messages referenced Rashida, suggesting she was also looped into whatever secret conversations were happening behind the scenes. Another wild theory pointed at Jasmine Washington, with fans saying, "It's always Jasmine in the shadows when things blow up." The cast, already rattled, was thrown into deeper paranoia. Spice tweeted, "This drama got more layers than onions. Y'all ain't ready." Erica Mena went live, spilling tea without names. "Let's just say Tamar wasn't the only one in those messages, and when the rest comes out, people gon' choke." Back on set, Yandy was broken but also furious. "She tried to destroy me." With half a story, she cried to producers. She tried to make it look like it was just me and Mendeecees when she knows there was more to those messages. And the biggest twist: rumors spread that producers themselves had the full chat logs and were saving them for the reunion episode. Meaning, Tamar's reveal was just the tip of the iceberg. The cliffhanger was brutal. Was Mendeecees guilty? Or had Tamar weaponized partial receipts to humiliate Yandy? And if Rashida or Jasmine were really in those chats, why hadn't Tamar exposed them to? Fans didn't know what to believe anymore. And that's exactly how the producers wanted it. The set was in ruins. Mendeecees had stormed out. Yandy was still sobbing uncontrollably, and Tamar sat back in her chair with a smile that said she'd won the night. But what nobody expected was that the drama wasn't finished. It was only getting darker. Producers scrambled to calm the chaos. But the cast refused to settle. Rashida pulled Yandy aside, whispering that she needed to get control before Tamar destroyed everything. Erica shouted across the room. "If the man walks out, it's because he's guilty." Spice shook her head and muttered, "This whole thing is toxic. Everybody lying." And then, out of nowhere, a producer slipped a folder onto the table. Inside were more screenshots, messages that Tamar hadn't shown. The cast crowded around, their faces shifting from shock to rage as they realized the texts weren't just between Tamar and Mendeecees. Other names were in the thread. Other cast members had been involved. The betrayal cut deeper than anyone expected. Yandy gasped, "This ain't just about me." Tamar smirked, "Baby, I told y'all. The truth touches everybody." The screen faded to black, but not before showing next week's teaser. Blurred out messages, Rashida screaming in tears, Spice yelling, "Enough is enough," and Mendeecees pacing in the parking lot saying, "If they air this, my marriage is over." The cliffhanger was brutal, the suspense unbearable. Fans were left with one terrifying question: who else was caught in the web of those secret messages? And just like that, the night ended in absolute chaos. Tamar lit the match, Yandy broke down, and Mendeecees walked away from it all, leaving fans and the cast scrambling for answers. But the biggest twist wasn't Tamar's receipts or even Mendeecees' silence. It was the revelation that this scandal doesn't just involve two people. It involves the entire cast in ways no one saw coming. So now the questions multiply. Did Tamar deliberately twist the narrative to put the spotlight on Yandy, knowing there were other names in those messages? Was Mendeecees protecting himself by walking out, or was he protecting Yandy from a truth too devastating to face on camera? And what about the other cast members whose names were hidden in those threads? If the full truth comes out, whose careers, reputations, and relationships will survive? The internet is already taking sides. Some believe Tamar exposed exactly what fans needed to see, proof that nobody's relationship is perfect. Others argue Tamar only gave a half-truth, and that real bombshells are still locked away by producers. Meanwhile, Yandy has become the center of sympathy and scrutiny all at once, some fans crying with her, others calling her out for being caught slipping. But the one undeniable fact: Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has just delivered its most explosive storyline yet. And with the promise of more receipts, more tears, and more shocking revelations. This scandal isn't slowing down, it's only about to get worse. So what do you think? Was Tamar telling the whole truth? Or just enough to set Yandy on fire? Did Mendeecees walk out because he was innocent or because the guilt was written all over him? Drop your thoughts below, because when the next episode hits, we're all going to need answers. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.